Battle Angel Alita Volume 1, Paperback Edition Review. Battle Angel Alita is in a strange place in the world of manga. In comparison to other cyberpunk series in the medium, it isn't as famous as, say, Akira and Ghost in the Shell, but it is certainly a well-respected title. And like Gits, was subjected to a controversial Hollywood adaptation that's controversial in the sense that any manga adapted by Hollywood is always going to be controversial. No matter how good it is, Hollywood touching a manga is always going to be suspect. Regardless, this series has been out in English in various forms. First published by Viz, it is now released by Kodansha, who are bringing out this 9-volume long series in a collection of 6 books. Thus, each of these paperback editions is 1.5 volumes long. You would think that it would make more sense to release it in 3 books, each 3 volumes long, rather than split everything up, but this is not the only issue with regards to the way this version has been released. Before getting into however, let's get into the story. The series is set in the scrapyard, a gigantic slum area below the wondrous space city of Zalem. A cyber doctor called Daisuke Ido discovers the remains of a cyborg which it takes back to his lab and fixes. He calls the cyborg Alita. When she awakens, it appears she has no memory. Later, Alita overhears Ido having a conversation and mistakenly thinks he is a killer preying on a young woman. She follows him, but comes to discover that Ido is actually a hunter warrior, a bounty hunter, and the woman he is after is a mutant serial killer. Alita is able to defeat the killer herself using an advanced martial art, which Ido recognized as the art called Panzerkons. Following this, Alita decides to become a hunter warrior herself, bringing in bounties, but also in a mission to track down her missing memories. It is hard to tell how the story is developing in this opening volume. Probably the best thing in this manga is Yukito Kishiro's artwork. His very character designs are deeply engrossing, with Alita's own slender form standing in stark contrast to some of the gigantic and violent brutes she battles against. One of the best moments is a scene in the sewer, where after Alita falls into it, she dries up by shaking herself like a dog, a nice humorous detail which pops up among the more frenzied action sequences. There are some elements of Kodansha's production that I do like, such as Scott O. Brown and even Hayden's use of lettering. The use of a more computerized font on most machines does bring up questions regarding Alita who uses the font, and is also used by human characters, and given that she is a cyborg, it would mean there is a likelihood that part of her isn't somehow human. Other parts of the production I'm less keen on, aside from dividing the books into 1.5 volume chunks. Another issue I have with Kodansha's release is how they use translation notes. Most of them are tiny pieces of text stuck between the space in panels, some written horizontally but others vertically. Many of these notes, however, appear to relate the pieces of technology specific to the series, rather than just general translation. Also, I feel these notes will work better in a separate translation notes section rather than a small footnotes. What makes this weirder, however, is that there is an actual translation notes sections. It is just 1 page long, and when it talks about how the series and the character have different names compared to the Japanese translation. Battle Angel Alita's original name is Gon, and Alita is actually called Gali. No explains that when Viz first released the series in English, these translations were added to give the series more appeal to English-speaking audiences, and that they are used in this edition because this translation is what the audience is used to. Issues of production aside, Battle Angel Alita still remains one of the key works in cyberpunk manga. It is not the most famous, but it's still one of those interested in the genre shall read. 6/10.